Hey guys, it's Chris. From ancient monsters thought to be myth to creatures we don't know how to explain. Join me as I reveal 8 creatures spotted on Google Earth. Number 8. Giant crab. This image from Google Earth was apparently taken in a very populated spot, and one that's known for crab fishing. So imagine their horror when they thought that a giant 50-foot wide crab was just off the dock. Yeah, they cleared the area pretty fast. Unlike many images on Google Earth, this one does look a bit fake. Okay, a lot fake. But again, it was a Google Earth picture. It's just that this one seems a bit more photoshopped. Between the look of the crab, the angle of it in the picture, the graininess of certain parts of the photo, there are a lot of warning bells for hijinks. That being said, there are people who swear up and down that the crab was real and that they actually saw it in the waters before running away. Sure, the idea of a crab this big does sound like something from a monster movie, probably a bad one, but there are big crabs in the world. There's one just off the coast of Japan that's 12 feet wide when its legs are spread out. Yes, this crab would be 4 times that in size, but still it's not incredibly impossible, I suppose. As history has taught us, just when we thought we knew everything about the world fights back and says, you don't know everything quite yet. Number 7. A Kraken. I would be very surprised if none of you watching had ever heard of the legend of the Kraken. It's a massive squid that is far beyond the lengths of normal squids in our oceans and is said to have existed for a long time and is able to crush ships with its mighty tentacles. It's a sea monster basically, okay? And near Antarctica, we know that massive squids reside in the waters, but a picture from Google Earth seemed to indicate that the legendary Kraken was not only alive, it lived in the waters near the frozen continent, which both makes perfect sense and is terrifying all at the same time. The picture is a bit hard to make out. The wake that is being created by whatever the creature is so massive that people are thinking this is the Kraken well and truly. Upon looking at the picture via the masses, it was revealed that the entity was between 75 and 100 feet in length, which would put it well above the length of a giant or even colossal squid. So has history been made? Have the legends been verified? Is there a Kraken in Antarctica? Well, no. And it's not just me saying that. It's Andrew David Thaler of Southern Fried Science, who went and posted a map of the area, which apparently is known for having outcroppings of rocks. And one such rock is called Sail Rock, which is 100 feet long in length, and is in the exact spot that the Kraken picture was taken. So sadly, somewhat anyways, the Kraken has not been found. However, that doesn't mean the myths and legend of the creature have died down. Many people think that Thaler is lying or wrong, and the hunt for the beast continues. Number 6. Giant centipede. There are many people in the world that have bugs and bug-like creatures, so the idea of a giant centipede being in the waters off of Scotland, that would make even the most loving of bug people take pause. Now, when I say giant centipede, I don't mean one that's like a foot long or a couple feet long. I'm talking about a full-on monster-sized centipede. As noted above, this was found in the waters off Scotland. And after analysis looked at the picture of the centipede, they believed that it could be 120 meters long. Get this, that's over 360 feet, which is way bigger than any bug ever recorded in history, and is bigger than the blue whale, which is the largest creature currently alive. But to hear about this, it does beg a few questions, such as, is it real? After all, people have been known to hack Google Maps and Google Earth in the past, so it isn't out of the realm of possibility. Furthermore, what would such a giant centipede be doing in the waters off of Scotland in the first place? Currently, there's only one known species of centipede that hunts in the water, and that's located in Southeast Asia. That's a long way from Scotland. So real or fake, only time will tell. But naturally, do let me know what you think in the comments below, especially if you've seen this thing. Number 5. Sharks in London. Sharks are nothing new, and to find one spotted by Google Earth wouldn't be odd per se. However, when one is found in shallow waters and appears to be much bigger than it should be, yeah, that'll get your attention pretty fast. In 2010, near Albert Dock in London, a Google Earth photo found a shark of great size wading near the waters of the dock. This surprised and terrified many who saw it, and who can blame them? Sharks are one of the most feared creatures by and large, so to find out via a reliable source like Google Earth that giant sharks were just offshore, that would be cause for much alarm. The interesting thing here is that many don't think it's fake. Far from it, they feel it's real. They're just curious as to what type of shark it is and why it's there. Let's start with species. Based on their estimates, they guess the shark is about 35 feet in length, which is very reasonable for a certain kind of shark. Based on the image, they feel it's a basking shark, which is entirely probable as they're able to grow to about 44 feet potentially. As for why it's so close to the surface, well, that's still up for debate. The basking shark doesn't mind swimming in shallow waters, so that tracks. Some people feel it was close to death and wanted to be near the surface because of that. It's a mystery for sure. Some people have noted that various creatures in the area of Albert Dock tend to swim weirdly and atypically to other creatures. So perhaps that's what's going on here. Number 4. Corfu Island Sea Monster. Many of the creatures that can be found on places like Google Earth are able to be identified and then theorized, but that's not always the case. Sometimes you get something that just doesn't look like anything you've seen before. Off the coast of Parga in Scotland, a tourist was examining pictures and saw an animal he literally could not identify. On one hand, it looked like a dolphin-like creature, at least in the coloring of it. It also resembles animals like hippos and other such water dwellers, and yet it's incredibly unique. Naturally, the photo started to spread around, and more people came to gaze and wonder what exactly was in the waters of Scotland, aside from a certain other creature, that is. Weirdly enough, though, this mystery has been solved, as a scientist took a look at that picture and realized, in his opinion of course, that he'd seen this before, on a boat. You see, it appears to be that the mystery creature is actually a sunken boat fender. That being said, it's not a perfect match. True, it could be the distortion effect of the water causing an illusion, but it's still a bit unclear. What do you think? Number 3. Mount MABU. Without a doubt, one of the most important uses for Google Earth is to use the satellite imagery to go and explore vast regions of the world that haven't been touched by man for a very long time. And in 2005, a group headed up by Julian Bayliss was looking at the nation of Mozambique and found a place that honestly had not been touched by man for a very long time. The locals of the area knew about it, but the rest of the world, not so much. The mountain itself stands 5,600 feet above sea level and is full of forests and savannas, which is another reason why the place has been left undiscovered by modern man for so long. But why are we mentioning it on a list of strange sites in Google Earth? Well, because the discovery of this place led to an expedition of the forest and the mountain in 2008, and when it was done, many undiscovered species were identified, as well as the finding of species that had been believed to be threatened population-wise all over the world. Finding so many new and lost creatures in our world today, given all the technology we have, is a rare thing indeed. As such, the place is now referred to as Google Forest because of how it was found. Number 2. Bigfoot. There are many creatures in myth that are referred to as holy grail monsters, ones that people are desperate to believe in and try to get proof of at any cost, and Bigfoot is most definitely one of them. Think about it for a moment if you would. Is there any greater land animal myth than Bigfoot? More than likely not, especially given all the sightings of him across many decades. In 2013, an image from Google Earth Street View shows what appears to be a woodland creature bipedalling it through the Canadian woods, in British Columbia to be specific. There are doubters naturally, but their response is usually that's a tree stump, though many would argue that it doesn't look like any tree stump they've ever seen. Furthermore, if you look right at it, you can see an arm dangling down through the brush. It's oddly compelling, and even some skeptics are thinking it could be legitimate. And just think about the potential if this is real. Think of how many books, articles, shows, and more are dedicated to finding Bigfoot, only for Google Earth to be the reason it's potentially proven real. That'd be so weird in so many ways. Now, obviously no one has actually caught Bigfoot yet, but he could be out there, wandering, waiting, and potentially getting ready for his next photo op, regardless of whether man or Google is taking the photo. Number 1. Loch Ness Monster. Without a doubt, one of the greatest monster stories out there today is that of the Loch Ness Monster. Many have claimed to have seen it, and in 2009, Jason Cook added his name to the legend by claiming that Google Earth had spotted it. Jason, a security guard from Nottingham, England, told the UK's Sun that he spotted the monster while scanning the site's satellite imagery. I couldn't believe it. It's just like the descriptions of Nessie, he said. As in most monsters caught on Google Earth, there is some debate as to whether this is indeed Nessie or not. And some say that it's nothing more than a boat in the water taken from a unique angle, in this case the Google Earth satellite. Much like Bigfoot, there's a reason that the legend of the Loch Ness Monster still exists. It's because of photos like these that keep surfacing. They just keep coming. There's even been video evidence that shows something coming out of the loch slightly before dipping back in. So is Google Earth the next big piece of proof to finding out where the Loch Ness Monster is and what the Loch Ness Monster is? Until it's found for certain, the mystery will continue. Thanks for watching. What did you think of some of these creatures? Do you believe that Google Earth has found something truly mysterious and groundbreaking? Or do you think it's all bunk? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to World List, and I'll see you next time.